Financial Conduct Authority, in their 2024 Financial Lives Survey, pointed out that 28% of UK adults, that's a quarter of the population, are not coping well financially. Just think about that for a minute. 1 in 4 people, I'm sure it doesn't apply to people in this room, but if we were to split this room into 4 quadrants, that quadrant, one quadrant, would be struggling financially. And again, I think as was mentioned this morning, I think Nick made the point about the trackies in Australia. It's about putting ourselves into those people's shoes, into those circumstances. This particular part of London is probably not typical, but if we were to step outside and speak to other people in other communities, this is a real problem. 1 in 4 is struggling to meet their basic financial needs. What does that mean in real terms? It means that they're struggling to fix the boiler if it goes wrong. It means if the car breaks down, they cannot get to work. They can't even afford the fares on public transport to get to work until the car gets fixed. That's the everyday reality. And yet what can be seen as more concerning is the fact that over half of the population, some 53%, either have to dip into their savings to cover everyday bills and financial problems, or have stopped saving completely. So for those individuals, saving is something that seems completely out of reach. They're too busy trying to struggle with the demands of today. On top of that, it's again an established fact brought out in the surveys that debt levels are rising across the board. With high interest rates, with an escalating cost of living crisis, financial resilience is being stretched to its absolute limits. And yet those financial challenges aren't just restricted to people's bank accounts. Those financial challenges have serious impacts on people's physical and mental well-being as well. The Mental Health Foundation pointed out that 1 in 3 people experience anxiety over paying everyday bills. 1 in 3 experience anxiety. A leading debt charity in the UK, Step Change, said that 40% of people with financial problems also face mental health issues. So we can clearly see from the research there is a strong correlation, a connection between financial resilience and financial problems and mental health problems as well. And yet these problems, they don't stay in the family home. You'd think they might, but they don't. They extend into the workplace. In PwC's 2023 UK Financial Wellness Survey, they reported that employees under financial stress are 5 times more likely to be distracted at work. This reduces productivity. It increases absenteeism. So the stress just isn't contained to an individual's household. It also affects businesses and it affects the economy as a whole as well. And yet, as an industry, we're very good at telling people they need to save more for the future. Put more into your pension. You need to save now. And for those of us that have mixed DB or DC, yes, we're very conscious of the DC generation. For those of you, and I know there are some in the room that may be just DC, you're continually being told that your DC assets may not be enough for you. For those of you on DB, great. It's not all of us, but we're continually telling people put more and more into your pension. And of course, the message we get replayed back to us is, well, I can't afford to save. I've got debt problems, I'm paying off student loans, I'm trying to get on the housing ladder, I just cannot afford to save.